So Bakhram Murtazaliev has exposed and beaten Tszyu only in the third round as well. It was domination and an absolute beatdown. And yes, look, I really like Tszyu, and I'm gutted that he lost it because I find Tszyu very fun to watch. But Bakhram Murtazaliev is a very fun fighter to watch as well, though, to be fair. And Tszyu throughout the week was underestimating him so much. Tszyu, in the build-up to this fight, you could tell in the interviews that he was doing, he thought he would run through this man with ease. That is what Tszyu was thinking throughout. And the odds were ridiculous coming to the fight as well. I mean, Tszyu was a huge favorite, and Murtazaliev was a huge underdog as well, which, I mean, I don't understand how big of an underdog he was. I find that really strange, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, Murtazaliev was way too strong for Tszyu and literally brutally exposed Tszyu in the worst way possible. And at the end of the fight, in the interview as well, Tszyu seems like a broken man. And it was not good to see whatsoever. Like, he seems like a proper broken and beaten man right now. That was not part of the script for Tszyu. He expected to run through Murtazaliev and move on to other things and possibly, go on and fight Fundora, Spence, or Crawford. That's what Tszyu was looking for. But now Bakhram Murtazaliev is a huge problem, and I don't see many people really wanting to take the risk and fight him. And fair play to Tszyu for doing that, though. But I don't think going to this fight, Tszyu or his team saw Bakhram Murtazaliev as a threat. That's the thing. And I think they took him for an easy title fight. That's what I feel like. Tszyu was saying how he's overrated and all that throughout the week, but it turns out Tszyu's looking to be the one who's overrated. And Tszyu, throughout his career, has relied on being tough. That's the thing with Tszyu. I mean, Tszyu hits bloody hard. He does. But he's got brutal knockout power, Tszyu. And Tszyu's very good at cutting off the ring. But he's very good at taking shots to get to where he wants to be. But he came up against a man who hits too hard and is too accurate with his shots and just has that extra bit of sting in them. And that is Murtazaliev. And he brutally punished Tszyu in the worst way possible. That's the thing. Bakhram, I really like the way Bakhram Murtazaliev lets his shots flow. I really like how he does that. And he just finds the opening so easily. Tszyu literally never took his hands back to his face at all, was fighting with such a low guard. It was an accident waiting to happen from the moment the first bell went, in my opinion. 100%. He was an accident waiting to happen in that fight. And Murtazaliev is bloody incredible, to be fair. And Tszyu literally did not look like he deserved to be in there with Bakhram Murtazaliev. They did not look on the same level whatsoever. Tszyu was brutally exposed in that fight. His defense was a shambles. There was no movement from him whatsoever. And Murtazaliev just showed a completely different level. Mixes up his shots really well. He's got a great shot selection with, great combinations that he throws. And he's so clean with his work as well, Bakhram Murtazaliev. I think he's gained many fans. He's got a good, entertaining, pretty unorthodox style as well. And it just got to Tszyu. Tszyu just thought he'd go in there. And it just looked like he was trying to walk Murtazaliev down and just land some big shots, get in there. But in the end of the day, he was getting caught and countered so much. And Tszyu had no response for the counters of Bakhram at all in that fight. There was no response to the counters. Tszyu couldn't defend the counters. It was an absolute shambles of a night for Tszyu, if we're being completely honest. It was an absolute shambles of a night for him. Sorry. But yeah, I think overall, Tszyu was just looking for a big shot to land on Murtazaliev and just try and brutally get him out of there. But he was just getting caught way too much. And look, we still need to give Tszyu's toughness credit, though, 100%, because a lot of shots that Murtazaliev was hitting him with, like, I feel like the first knockdown that Murtazaliev got with that counter left hand would have knocked many people out. It would have. and shots that he was hitting with consistently afterwards as well would have knocked other people out in the aftermath as well. So it's like Tim Tszyu stayed in there and was stopped on his feet in the end. I mean, his corner took way too long to stop it. 100% they did. It took them years, it felt like, to actually stop the fight. And Tim Tszyu was getting battered pillar to post. That's the thing. But yeah, it just showed that Tim Tszyu's just not on the level that many thought he was, to be fair. And, you know, there were loads of people possibly talking about him getting on a Saudi Arabia show. I mean, then it looked like he fell out with Turkey al-Sheikh. And then apparently it was a misunderstanding. But Tim Tszyu's not going to get that opportunity anymore, though. That's the thing. He's definitely not getting that opportunity anymore. And, yeah, I feel bad for Tim Tszyu, but it does look like I don't think he's a well-level fighter. That's the thing. You know, there's so many amateur flaws in his game that he made in this fight against Murtazaliev, and it just really makes you think. I mean, Bakhram Murtazaliev's a real bloody good fighter. He's a top guy in the division. But the amateur mistakes that Tim Tszyu is making, that it's just shown he's not really well level when you come up against the wrong guy. It also shows as well how it also just shows up Sebastian Fundora as well, because Fundora elbowed Tim Tszyu in the head and couldn't get him out of there for a whole 12 rounds. It just shows all Sebastian Fundora's got is height. He height bullies people, weight bullies people in the middleweight division, in the junior middleweight division. Simple as that. He does. That's the thing. He honestly does. That is the thing with Sebastian Fundora. Literally just waits and height bullies you. Simple as that. He's 6'6". Shouldn't be in the bloody division. Should not be in that super welterweight junior middleweight division. Unbelievable stuff, to be fair. And Sebastian Fundora was really severely shown up in this fight, with Bakhram showing a literally different level here in this fight. And Bakhram would literally wreck Sebastian Fundora. He would wreck him. Honestly, it would be absolutely brutal, even more brutal than the Brian Mendoza knockout. I mean, honestly, it's a dangerous fight for someone like Sebastian Fundora. For Tim Tszyu, where does he go from here? I don't know, to be fair. He's not, I don't think he's a world-level fighter, though. He will probably get another fight at the level, though. But I think it's safe to say after that, Tim Tszyu, there just wasn't any movement, and he was just walking in straight lines. There's no angle changes that Tim Tszyu brings. He tries to cut off the ring and breaks you down and takes big shots to get to where he wants to be. That's Tim Tszyu's style, with power in it, with big power in his hands as well. Cuts the ring off, walks you down in a straight line, and, you know, brutally beats you down with some good with some big shots. But against Murtazaliev, he was consistently getting caught, not taking his hands back, not bringing his hands back to his face, over swinging, overloading as well, and was there for the counter from Murtazaliev. And Murtazaliev just brutally beat him down, putting his shots together really nicely. And Tim Tszyu was literally a moving punching bag in that fight. Simple as that, really. And Murtazaliev, it was embarrassing how easy Bakhram Murtazaliev made it look. After the shit Tim Tszyu was talking in the build-up. And yes, Tim Tszyu usually comes across as a real humble guy. But in the build-up to this one, he was too overconfident and saw Murtazaliev as no threat whatsoever. And when you're up against a Russian like Murtazaliev, you're in big trouble if you're not taking that fight seriously. And very clearly, Tim Tszyu did not do that. Murtazaliev is ridiculously strong. He's got ridiculous power, ridiculous accuracy. But also, Tim Tszyu is just there to be hit as well. That's the thing. And that's what you don't want to be against Bakhram. That's the thing. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. I keep saying that's the thing. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. I'll speak to you on the next one.